Oh, hello, hello. This is different. This is very different. I Kai's. What? Where did that sound come from? Oh, I got it. So I have another. Okay, there we go. All right. So, yeah, Kai is on his way, but I ended up with a little bit of COVID action. And I'm in the clear, but he didn't want to take any risks, and I'm all for that. So he's going to jump in at some point tonight. We are talking to a good friend of mine, somebody I feel like I've known forever, but it has actually only been like a year and some change. But we're going to have my friend Charles from Silktone on, and you know what, I I'm not. Kai will get on when he gets on, and I am just going to bring Charles on right now because I think that is the way to go. Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, dude.
How are things in California?
Fucking stupid. It's last week was like we were all on fire watch. Like I was gonna go to a concert and then I almost didn't leave because it was like, oh shit, there's a fire like 15 miles from my house. But that blew the other way, fortunately. But and then now this week we're on like flood alert. It's I don't.
It is.
So that's a first.
It's a tough. It's a tough place to live for being so freaking expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like like you guys pay more than most anyone outside of New York and Boston.
yeah,
Um, and to reward you, you get tons of earthquakes. You get I mean, like you have fire season. We don't have
yeah.
fire season where I live.
Dude, it's not like I had a friend move like 4 or 5 years ago, I think. I don't know if I've already told this story on video, but anyway, I had a friend move like 4 or 5 years ago to California, waited her whole life to get here, and was like, dude, like nobody told me about the fires. Has it always been like this? And I was like, no, like this is just since you came.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just
So
there's a
it's new.
there's a documentary out there. I think it's on Netflix or Amazon or something. But it's like 40 minutes long, and it's a documentary of the what was it, the campfire.
Oh yeah.
And the all of the footage was like provided by people. It was like cell phone footage from like inside of that town that got surrounded.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. And like at the very end of it, like the way some people survived that was they went there, like in the middle of the town there was like a parking lot,
Mm.
and they all went and laid down, like they were trapped, and they all went and laid down in the parking lot and put blankets over the top of them,
Yeah.
and like it passed over them.
Damn, that's crazy. That's scary. I've always thought of that. Like if a fire ever hits too close, like we got a lot of concrete around us, like right where we are here.
Yeah.
So shouldn't be too bad, but oh, that
Yeah.
shit jumps around.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, look at this guy right there.
Hello.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hey man.
I'm grand. How are you guys?
We're doing
Good.
fine. We were just talking about the environment that Mr. Charles Henry and many other people have chosen to live in on the coast over
Oh
there,
yeah.
with all the weather difficulties of that.
Right. Are you?
Now you're up
Yeah.
to speed. I just caught
Yeah.
you up to speed.
That's it.
That's
You
I
and
it.
this
love
much.
it.
Just
It's
fires and floods.
Yep.
No,
Fires
I
and
like
floods.
it.
That's it.
I'm from LA originally,
Oh,
so I get to. My parents are still out there, so I got great pictures of like my dad like lives up in the hills or lived up in the hills of Malibu Canyon, and just insanely like beautiful pictures, but terrifying pictures of him like looking
yeah.
up into the mountains and it's just
Just
red.
flames everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's messed
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. It was fun. And did you talk about? Oh gosh, I'm forgetting his name from Rheinenkauf. was out there. And
Oh, Matt Hall.
Yeah. I'm
And
pretty sure this is his story. Is like he had like a glass patio table that melted during all of that. And then he went back to his house and the glass table was melted and his chickens were walking around fine.
What?
Yeah.
I gotta call Matt. I haven't talked to Matt in
should.
it's been like a month, which is actually a really long time for me and Matt Hall. So hey, your studio's looking good. This Kai does have a house of his own and a studio built in there. You were kind of in the process of this throughout the whole summer.
Yeah, it took me about 1.5 years to do the full remodel. We did the whole like resilient channel double drywall monstrosity, and it was like a finished 40s basement before.
Yeah.
But we made it. We
did.
Did you scramble and clean up 10 minutes before the show like I did?
No, stop it.
You moved rooms.
I did, yeah. It wasn't working out. Well, he cleaned the other room, and then I was like, "Nah, fuck it, I'm not moving on."
Well, the backdrop you have is amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I assumed it was just like a green screen thing you can do on Zoom now.
Yeah.
Nice.
You could put Charles's showroom behind you.
Put me in Abbey Road. Yeah, I'm just hanging.
What is so? I see your Mendocino. I see your Jazz Master. I see your casino. What's what else you got over there?
On the end. Oh, how do I do this?
Yeah.
There.
Yep. That's your Coronado.
Yeah, my Coronado. That's a fun one. That's been cool. It's been getting some use lately.
Really? You can use it, huh?
Oh yeah, it's fucking rad.
To make stuff that sounds good.
It sounds amazing.
Wow.
It has those fat de-arming single coils. So no, they're good. I take it you've never played a good one, or?
No, and
wow.
I mean, at least that one's not Antigua.
Those I don't really like that finish. No.
That's just taking a bad thing and making it worse. I think Adam Levy had an Antigua Coronado for a while.
It's made me consider selling my casino, and that's a Japanese casino, one of the like elitist model ones.
Yeah,
it's cool. I've always loved it, but I always grab for the Coronado now, just because it's like the full hollow. So.
Yeah. Is the casino not? Did they make them?
No, it is, but it's just reaching for a full hollow like thin line. I always grab for the Coronado now.
Yeah. Try Ontario. I've been to Ontario. We have plus 40 in the summer and minus 40 in the winter.
We're with you.
Geez.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I don't know what that would be for.
Well, the fun fact for the day is Fahrenheit and Celsius centigrade, whatever, they meet up at -40.
Okay.
So they're the same?
Crossover. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So -40. Oh, so -40 is -40.
Yeah. In both.
I don't get. You'll have to convert it to inches for me. I don't get that. We don't do metric system.
And Aaron says Chicago ain't much better. That is true. And you guys have that wicked wind that whips off of the lake and makes life very makes having skin on your face uncomfortable.
Man, I flew over a couple of years ago. I flew over the East for the first time. I've never been over there, but just flying over the Great Lakes, like I had no idea how big they were. It's like I thought we were over the ocean.
So I got a great story for you. A couple of years ago, handful of years ago, I was playing a ski resort that was off of Lake Superior, and so it's quite a ways north. And I'm driving home from this ski resort and in a blizzard. I'm driving down the mountain. You can laugh It's not a real mountain. It's a Minnesota mountain. But so I'm driving down the mountain, and all of a sudden I was driving a Volvo 240, and all of a sudden my dash lights started flickering, and I was like, "Oh crap!" I'm like, my alternator is going out, and it's like Sunday in a blizzard in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so I tried to go as far as I could, as you do, and ended up on the side of the road, and my car is just piling up with snow. And at that point in time, and this is no like whatever. We had T-Mobile at that point in time, and I had no T-Mobile service up there, none whatsoever. So I'm like moving around trying to get a bar, and I finally get a bar, and I call our insurance who had the tow away service, whatever. And I'm with this woman on the phone, and I'm like, can't you track, she's like, where are you? I'm like, in the middle of fucking nowhere. And she's like, I'm like, can't you track me with like GPS or some shit like that? And she was like, no. I'm like, what? I'm like, it doesn't, she's like, okay. Look around, see if you see any landmarks. And so I look around and I go, okay, there's a lake right next to me. And she was like, that's great. What lake is it? And I went, Lake Superior. And she there's like a moment of silence on the other side. And she goes, oh, that's a really big lake. And I'm like, a great lake even. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so, I mean, the story goes much longer, and it involves like me being a Polish Jew riding in a tow truck with a anti-Semitic woman tow truck driver.
Oh, good.
And it just gets better from there. But
Yeah.
I eventually, and it ends up in some guy's backyard in his shop called Cooters.
God, it reminded me of a story. Talking about being stuck in the snow. My cousin just told me she did like a deep dive into our family history, and my grandmother's maiden name is Glass. So in California, the Glass family has like deep roots. She told me apparently the Glasses came over with the Donner Party, like through the Rocky Mountains and shit. And at Donner Pass, we're like, nah, we'll go the other way.
Really?
And didn't need each other. So
do you know? I was thinking about this the other day.
Made it.
I was thinking about this the other day as I made some like Donner Party joke to my 6-year-old.
Yeah,
he didn't get it, but whatever. But like, I mean, I'm sure that they were some good
acquired taste.
I'm sure I'm sure there were some good people, and that there was that. It's a really great story, and and like just a harrowing story and all that. But we just focus on the one thing,
The part that creeps me out is apparently the kids started to eat it.
Oh,
so there you go. Stop giving Harrison ideas, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Charles, so I use your amplifier pretty much all the time right now.
I've noticed. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have been using it. Well, I mean, like every gear demo, I'm using it right now. You've
been gigging, right?
Every session I've been using it, and also like every gig. And because here's the thing that I
just lost the video.
Okay. What?
God damn it! All right. Every time. I thought this thing charged. Apparently, this cable doesn't charge my camera.
Oh,
me?
Oh, not
Fantastic.
If you're using it. That's right.
Yeah, that's great. I guess I'll pop on in the other room on the webcam.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
Great, thanks.
Love a scene change. This is exciting.
Oh,
we
man.
Move too?
Yeah, I don't know. So, how you been?
Good. What have I been doing? I played from Thursday to Sunday, 11 gigs. with 10 different bands. And then on Monday I slept, and it was tremendous.
It's
It
a
was
lot of
great.
songs. It's a lot of
It
songs
was
to.
it was too many. Some of them I would venture to say I didn't know.
That I mean, that's kind of the sleep study model.
Yeah.
Most of
Yeah.
us don't know what we're doing.
No.
I mean, like, I play with Craig Jared Johnson, and he like prefers that I don't know his songs. It's kind of what like so I just go sit in for 60 minutes.
I wanna play with those people who are
Yeah,
like, "No, no, no. No prep. How
yeah.
dare you even
No,
ask?"
and it's great.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, and all these like playing with him too. Like all these other people come and sit in. So it's like, like I'll be playing and like sit next to like Dan Murphy, and I'm like, hey, Dan Murphy, do you know this song? And he's like, no, I don't either.
Of
I'm like,
course not.
cool. Well, like you were in Soul Asylum, you take the solo.
You can have it, I guess.
Yeah. um, are you just pretty much doing the Monarch reverb right now or your Monarch is
I'm a no
massive.
reverb boy. It's
Yeah.
right there. And then my dirty secret right now is, like, a lot of gigs, I'm just using a Helix. I'm going direct. I'm living my life.
Yeah.
I'm moving on. Um, I just, like especially, like, this weekend where it would be, like, a different pedal setup or a different, like or, like, one of the gigs is, like, just heavily affected bass, and
Right.
then one of them's, like, country guitar.
Yeah.
Um, I just put the one thing in my car and I go. But yeah, that's my only gigging amp. I have my 70s Vibro Champ down here and my 50s Gibson BR6. But those mostly just stay here and stay
Yeah.
mic'd.
Yeah, so I was at Dave's Guitars in
Mhm.
Lacrosse, and I hung out upstairs and did that whole thing. Yeah, I'm publishing a video on Stringjoy of that on the Stringjoy channel of that experience. But if you guys have never been to Dave's Guitars in Lacrosse,
Mm.
it's like you walk in and everything looks pretty. It looks like a normal guitar store, and
Yeah.
then you go upstairs and there is
Every holy grail piece of gear you can imagine.
and it was yeah, and multiples of them too. It's like like how many like 54 Esquires are there up there?
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Yeah.
like just like it's like,
Yeah. A burst
but
from every year.
But
Yeah.
then what also was amazing about it was like it wasn't just your I mean, sure, they have every silver face, every black face,
Mhm.
every every tweed,
Yeah.
every like vintage Marshall. They have all of that. But then like on top of it, they also have stuff that you wouldn't think about. Like they have a whole bunch of old Sun stuff.
Yeah.
Um, like Dan Armstrong. He has a bunch of Hamer stuff from the 70s,
They're
like
so good. Yeah, he has one of the Explorers that are, like, more expensive than Gibson Explorers of the same those are have you played one of those?
yeah.
I
So,
like it.
but he does have a 50 something Carina Explorer there. And it's
Okay,
just
that
sitting
one
there. Like
yeah.
it's just sitting there and I'm like there are like 17 of those.
Yeah.
That's like the most expensive electric guitar in the world. And
Yeah.
it's just sitting right here next to the Burst, which is sitting right here. And and literally like at one point when I was setting Brett up for the interview and we were kind of like finding a spot where there was good lighting and stuff like that, I tripped over a 54 Stratocaster. I tripped over a fucking 54 Stratocaster that was sitting on, like, I mean, it was on a stand, but I mean, like, it was just there in the middle.
Well, and
And
that's the crazy part about that space is it's like they're hanging on the wall like this.
yeah,
They're not behind
not,
glass. Like
yeah, not behind glass, not up where you can't reach them.
nope.
And like,
Yeah,
so yeah,
one's on a little folding stand on the ground. And if you catch Dave in
yeah.
the right mood, he's like, you should try that one.
Yeah, well, and thankfully I got to go in there kind of, I got to go in there with the camera and a purpose and
Yeah.
I set it all up and stuff like that. So I got to go through with Brett from Everyday Guitarist who
Hmm.
works there. And yeah, like he was pulling them off. He's like, "Here, try this." I'm like, but
He
no,
invited-
You
he
own a
invited me
54
to.
Strat now.
Oh,
what's that?
You
Oh.
own a 54 Strat now.
I do. I broke it, so
Yeah.
it's mine. Yeah, I was like, it's just like, Wyatt, I'm breaking something new. But one of the things we were talking about in that, and geez, Charles, man, you just kind of walked into this again because this is the conversation that we've had with you on the String Joy channel a little bit, but
oh yeah.
yeah, one of the things that Brett and I were talking about in the shop was that, you know, like he's a heavy gigger, and you know, like he brings a Kemper everywhere, you know, and
Oh right.
Kai, you're a Helix guy, and so I brought up my
Reluctantly. Charles,
Yeah.
you could fix that. You could fix that.
so
I could.
so
Yeah.
I brought up this thing, and I thought it was actually Blake from Tone Mob. He and I were talking about it. I thought he put this really, really well. So I have a vintage Corvette, and I drive it 3 times a year, tops.
Mhm.
And so what he was saying was that our tube amps are going to kind of become like that, where it's like, you know, you when you go out to your gigs, you gig with your computer amps, and then you know you save your your good tube stuff for your home recording projects and things like that, or like a special gig or something like that. And I was telling that to Brett because I thought it was astute. And Brett goes, "Why are you talking about this like it's like coming? It's you know," he's like, "It's here."
It's already happened.
And I
Yeah.
hadn't even stopped. He's like, go look through YouTube videos of like all of your favorite bands out there and see if you can see a single amp on the stage.
It's just
Mhm.
ease of
Yeah.
use. Yeah. The dude that works with me, my friend Ryan, he just played one of his first shows, and he has a Silktone, of course, and a bunch of other cool amps. And it was an acoustic show, granted, but he decided to go and just plug straight in. I don't know what he used, but he was just talking about how stressful the whole show planning was because it was pretty short notice, and how he just wanted to eliminate variables and just, you know, he wanted to focus on the songs and go and pack really light, and it worked out great. I went to the show, it was awesome, it sounded good. So it's not like that stuff can't sound good. It's just when the amps are, when you're a really creative artist and you're not just doing it every week over and over and over for work or whatever, I think when you've developed a tone and the amp is part of your instrument, like a lot of good amps are,
Mhm.
you need that amp for that tone. Like even like the Bensons behind you, Kai, like that's not, you're not going to get that with a Helix.
No, not at all. And there are certain. Oh, I just slipped on my in-ears thing. I'm alive. I'm okay. There are like certain gigs. A lot of the stuff I do is I'm coming in and like matching the thing they had on the record, and
Right.
that's what they pay me to do. So that's
Yeah.
the Helix thing. Is just like, oh, they played this pedal and this
Yeah.
pedal into a Vox.
Perfect.
Next
Set it
song,
up,
something
gig it.
else.
Yeah.
But for my, like the bands that I write in or do anything like that, that comes out because
There you
that's
go. Yeah.
that's
So
what I want to sound like. Yeah.
let me ask you
Until I
this.
have a Silktone, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Chris.
let me ask you this, Kai, just as a really, really practical thing.
Yeah.
Because I've never gigged my Helix. I've never gigged Kemper or anything like that. I've actually used a Kemper in the studio with John Fields, and that was, I ended up using an amp anyways because I
Yeah.
hated it. But my question is, so you know, like I try to set myself up to have the shortest sound check humanly possible, and I hate being reliant on a monitor mix for my own. I mean, like I'll have it, I'll come through the monitor, but like I don't I don't go into a gig being like, you know what, I have total faith that the monitor engineer
Totally.
is gonna be in my head and know when I want to hear myself and when I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, and so so like that, like I aim my cabinet at my head, and I do a whole bunch of other stuff to try to figure out how to not have to rely on that monitor engineer.
Yeah.
And you are talking about giving everything to them.
A lot of the times I'm mixing my own in-ears. So that helps.
Oh.
And then if it's not that sort of situation, that QSC behind me comes with me. And then
QSC.
just the PA
Oh,
speaker. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then
I think
But then you're carrying an.
I know.
It just depends on the application. It's like if I was in a band with a wedding singer and we're banging out the same old jams every week, fuck it, go get paid, go home,
Yeah.
But if you're, like I said earlier, if you're doing anything where your amp is a crucial point of your sound, like the bands you write in, you're gonna bring them. And Ryan, it's way easier for you because you haven't fucked with the other stuff yet. So you go and you know how to set it up quick and easy, and your awesome amp that you bring to gigs everywhere is super portable and easy to manage and never fails, right? So there you go. Not everyone has a Silktone.
There are gigs where like I'm going in as an artist, and there are gigs where I'm going in more like a plumber.
That's what I was getting at, but I didn't want to denigrate the working musician that's just doing it, nothing like that.
Those wedding gigs, we go in the same door that the laundry service goes through.
Yeah.
It is very clear where you stand
right.
in the event center.
Wedding gigs? Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm bringing it.
I mean, like there is no way to have an ego when you've played Proud Mary 3 nights in a row. Like it's just
I am dead inside, if that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, like there are folks who are really. I mean, like our friends in the band Vivo Knievel, they are very good at it. Very good at it. I think I take myself a little bit too seriously.
No, that shit's dumb.
So Grant here says that he doesn't gig, but he does have a toddler sleeping across the hall from his studio. Now I was all right. So Grant, here's a true story. I hauled my stuff in from my gig last weekend. Went to the ER and came back here, and so today I finally went and moved all of my gear into its place in the studio and stuff like that. And one of which was the Silktone amp. And I went to go track something on the Silktone amp, and I keep my cabinets in that room back there. So I was playing, but it was really quiet. I was having to ride the faders like super nuts and whatever. Couldn't get any volume out of my amplifier, and it was driving me nuts. And I had it flipped on 0.5 watts. The amp has an attenuator on there that sounds amazing. And like, it doesn't, I mean, like attenuators, like usually when you say attenuator, I'm like, but it sounds amazing. And you wouldn't even know that. Had it not been for the sheer, I wasn't able to get recording level volume out of it. Like, I mean, but like, so it's a way to kind of have a, kind of have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. I'll just come out and say it. We do it best. It's like better than I've heard a lot of them. And we put a lot into the design there with that attenuator specifically. It's not the most versatile because it's only a half watt. You can't vary it. But for the sound quality of that one, when you put a mic on it, if you level match, of course, when you put a mic on it, it sounds exactly the same as before, where a lot of other attenuators, it's more like a power scaling thing. So you dial it down and it changes your headroom. All of a sudden you're distorting at way lower volume or way lower gain settings. But yeah, that one, we set it up, or I set it up, the royal we. I set it up so so you could get I just lost what I was saying. I set it up to match the impedance of the speaker and the transformer. So when you attenuate it, it still thinks it's seeing another speaker. So it reacts exactly the same as if you just had a tiny little inefficient speaker in there. So yeah, we've actually grown on that a lot for like the next little project we're doing. Very little project. We're going to do, it's going to have a really cool line out. So it's not going to have an attenuator. It doesn't need one, but the line out, you're going to be able to take it, and it kind of borrows from the concept of the attenuator, where even if you're on the line out with no speaker plugged in, it will still have that reactive load like the attenuator does, where the amp will behave as if a speaker is plugged into it, and it responds way different. Like I tested it with just a straight resistive load and the reactive load like from the attenuator, and the resistive load is so boring in comparison. So we took that, and you could plug it straight into like the line in on a DAW, and you have a little amp that you can just plug in without a cab sim, without anything. And
that is so cool.
It's pretty rad.
Yeah.
I probably gave too much away. Forget
that,
everything.
Yeah, I mean, like that sounds like
I think we'll take 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like witchcraft, Charles.
Yeah, cool.
I did.
It's transformer based, so
like Optimus Prime,
right? Optimus Prime. Yeah.
All right.
we with Sour Sound, we co-designed a little transformer to do like a transformer line out tap with all this reactive stuff built into it. So
you and Brian
can't do it anywhere else.
You and Brian got it. You and Brian talk about each other in your sleep.
he should be in here. Where the fuck is he?
Yeah, where's my security blanket? Brian
he said he was gonna lurk. I was like, go ask good questions so you make me look good.
I did drop this little nugget, and I will fill you in on the details. Yes, I went to the ER. So on Friday, I had been feeling not well all week, really not well. And then Friday I had to go to there's Brian Sowers. Then I had to go to
speak of the devil.
On Friday I had a kind of like a double thing in La Crosse, Wisconsin. I was filming at Dave's Guitar Shop during the day, and then at night I was playing the Midwest Music Fest with Mark Malman. And again, really, really, like I was taking like 8 ibuprofen at a time, just to get through. I made it home, but the next day I had to go straight in, and it was a sinus infection and pneumonia.
Fuck, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I had it not too long ago, and I was afraid of getting pneumonia because I hear it's so much worse if you get pneumonia also.
Yeah, well, I get pneumonia like really regularly. Like I'm one of those who, like, if I have a cold, the thing I have to watch out for is that it doesn't turn into pneumonia. Like there's certain people who have colds that always turn into sinus infections, or mine always turn into like pneumonia, to the point where like I can call my doctor and be like, yeah, left lung about 60%, and he'll be like, okay. So, but the sinus infection threw me off. So I didn't know that I was, and it was like the beginning of, it's probably what they would have called like walking pneumonia. So, yeah. So that was, but now I'm just full of roids, and I'm out like just benching stuff.
Yeah.
That's why Ryan and I are filming separately. It's because
you're the only pureblood left in the country.
And with the roids, he's insufferable to be around.
I'm just raging all the time. And just I'm so swole, I don't know if we could fit both of
Yeah.
us on the same camera screen.
Yeah. Let alone the tiny couch we used to film on.
That's
That's
why.
definitely out of the question.
We
No.
should think about bringing that couch back.
I miss the couch.
I miss the couch as
Yeah.
well.
I think the couch was better.
Thank you for saying that. I think we both need to sit in one chair like yours. I think that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
This shit-
yeah.
It's cool. It's just loud. It's
a little creaky.
yeah, all the
yeah.
time. It scares the shit out of me. I'll lean over to get something. I'm like, what the fuck was that? But,
So you want me to pull the thing out, Charles?
hold on. We're live, right?
Wait, it's that kind of show?
wait a second.
I've
I
been
thought that was
waiting
just
for
a
this
midnight.
one.
Does he always do
Wow,
this?
it's
with
big.
Let me just it's kind of rectangular.
It's a little swole.
Let me first apologize to Alex Fletcher and say that I was given permission and that this was requested of me.
It's taking too long.
But check
Oh, look
this
at
out.
that. Boom. Look at
How
that.
cool is
Look
that?
at that. Look at that nice off-white finish on the text and the knobs. It
Yeah.
matches.
Damn.
Yeah. Limited run. It'll hit retailers later this week, early next week. So keep an eye out.
How many are you doing?
Around 100.
Yeah.
I got a big box of enclosures. I haven't counted them all yet. I think it's like 120, something like that.
Yeah, so that's coming. That's pretty
A couple of
exciting.
retailers got them early. I know one of them got it early, posted right away last Friday, sold out.
Coast Sonic?
No, it was Little Box.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Andrew.
Yes,
Blasted
sir.
it out right away, sold out within I think an hour or two. So
Yeah.
the next ones are apparently a little further apart than that, but yeah, they'll start hitting, and it looks like they're gonna go quick. So
I mean, like these there are people who already own these. I'm not like
there 4 or 4, 6
Yeah.
or 8 or 10, something like that. Yeah, a few
so this isn't as exciting as I'm making it.
for the 4 people.
Yeah.
Right. Those
Who
4
are
people. Yeah.
definitely watching.
Those 4 people who, yeah, I mean, of course they are.
Popular show.
Yeah, no, it's super exciting. It's even more exciting than that because it's there's only 4 of them.
This is rare. This is
Hey, me
rare.
too.
It's like a Carina Explorer you're holding.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I love this fuzz pedal. You did a really good job with that fuzz pedal.
Yeah, thanks.
It's it was kind of funny because when you did this, I had one here. I hadn't tried it yet. I think it was like I was working through some other stuff, and when you released this, and you had called and you were like, dude, you're like, RJ Ronquillo told me that he's taking his Sunface off his board.
Oh yeah.
Is Newmarket Sunface and putting this in its place.
Yeah.
And I was like, there was part of me that was like, yeah, of course he said that. I mean, like,
Thanks.
I mean, just kind of like, yeah, I loved it. I took my fuzz off my board.
No,
Like,
dude, with the amount of words he has said to me prior,
yeah,
I don't think it was made up.
yeah, I don't know if people know that about RJ, but he's like he's a
No.
man of very, very few words.
At least with
And
me, I assume he doesn't like me all the time.
I don't know, like I'll text him too. I'll like text him like a question that requires at least a couple word response, and somehow he figures out how to just do one.
Just an emoji.
Yeah. But no, and then like a week or two later, I tried it out, and I was like, yeah, this is what?
Hey, buddy.
It's materialized.
Look at you. How you doing?
Hey.
We were at karate.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
You know how to crush a board now.
You know how to crush a board now?
Mhm.
All right. Well,
Oh yeah, coming along.
This is the show now.
Yeah. What am I doing here? Get some karate stuff set up.
all right, but I'm gonna finish up this. Okay. I'll be up in a little bit.
Bye, Harrison.
See you, Harrison.
Yeah. So I found this to be a very useful fuzz, and what's kind of funny about it is that I find myself using it for everything but a traditional fuzz face kind
Oh
of stuff.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so because I mean there's just like you can get in there and really just kind of like mess with it.
Someone asked me earlier, like, why did you design it? Like, what was your inspiration? And I said, well, it was the fuzz face for one, like just the really, really good vintage, because I've played a lot of vintage units. Some of them sound amazing. Some of them sound like garbage in the same room, they're just biased a little different or whatever. So yeah, the whole point was to get it to sound amazing all the time and finding that bias point. And it's not like a bias control is anything new, but having the display so you can see exactly where it needs to be in crazy California temperature or Chicago temperature where it's 40 degrees over or under at any given time. You can just dial it right in and have that amazing tone. So the whole point was to get it around the 4.5 volt thing all the time. And every additional tone you get also was just kind of a bonus, but some of the coolest tones are in there.
Yeah, I starve it a lot just because I really like that. And then also I'll thicken it up a lot too, and then I'll clean it up. Like this is the cleanup knob on there is just spectacular. And it's it's the same thing, Kai, as if you were using like your volume knob on your guitar. It has the same effect. It's just like you can basically set your
max fuzz,
max to
Brilliant.
It's really cool too, because with the pickup simulator we put in it, a little reactive load, again, kind of like the attenuator, not my design, it's a borrowed one, but the you can run another fuzz or a boost into it without it getting all squealy like a lot of germanium fuzzes do. And so like what's really cool, I don't know if you've tried it, Ryan, but if you run it starved or like almost gated or just straight up gated, run it gated, but run a boost or another drive in front of it to like really push it over the gate. And it's fucking awesome. You'll have to try that.
I will. Yeah.
So stacking it, but gate that one.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's kind of like, it's kind of like the same idea of like a Pultec EQ, right? Because you're both boosting and ducking a frequency.
Yeah.
And then what you kind of get in the middle is like,
it's cool because so you retain the gating of it. So like when you stop playing, you just have dead silence, but it has the full drive capability because you're boosting the signal that does go in,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. I also love gating it after a delay and to like do a really long decay delay into the like really on the edge of gating on the fuzz.
Yeah.
And it kind of expands the it turns it into this really cool like reverby drive effect. So you can do some cool shit with it beyond just fuzz face,
Yeah, no, and yeah, I mean, like I had been using it like as an overdrive. Using it in raw mode and then in the raw setting and then using the cleanup and then using So it's really great. Sorry, we were trying to get Mark and Sean in here, but they're at Melvin's concert.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm mad at them.
Yeah, so yeah, they're both like harassing us in text messages, but then we're like, well, come on in here, and then they won't
They won't
who
come
are the
in
Melvins?
into the
I
video.
would love
into
a
the
live
video?
check-in from the Melvins show.
Yeah, tell them to check in for the Melvins.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do
all
that.
Yeah, throw them in for a minute. Fuck it.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see if they come.
It's Sean. So like
Yeah.
between Sean and Mark, Sean's
Mark
he's
seems
the
to
shy
have
one.
no excuse. Mark is probably at Taco Bell.
Mark is probably at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I'm curious though. In the meantime, until they get in here, have you compared that one at all to the black fuzz you have? Because those ones and every black fuzz from now on should sound better than the old ones. We tweaked the layout of this PCB a little bit, and it's a little closer to like hand wiring. It just everything comes through a little clearer. And
have I
you
tried?
messed
No, I haven't. I haven't done it back to back.
all right, well, let me know in private if you know.
Yeah,
After you get a chance.
yeah. That's that might be a little more free time than I typically.
Yeah. Well, you can chain them.
Yeah. No, I will. And you know, it's kind of funny, because you know, I know Sowers is not here.
He's not here now.
According to the comments, he's not
Yeah.
here.
He said,
Oh.
yeah, Brian Sowers, I'm not here.
But what are the, yeah, there we go. But one of the things with the Silktone amp that again, just kind of like, I thought you were crazy, but you were like, so I had one of the early oh good, here's an update. So I had so you know, I had one of your older Silktone amps with the older transformer in it, and then we traded that in for
you were kind of skeptical. You were a little reluctant.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So but what I ran them back to back. No, I just thought you were crazy. I was like, it's a transformer, you know, like it's not gonna change your life. Turns out a new, like, I mean, like that Sour Sound transformers, a transformer in that amp makes it a completely different thing. Not completely different. That's hyperbole.
Right,
it does make it significantly better though.
It's just more. It's more of all the good and less of the like. I had a few, even with the amp I released at first, like it. You hear it so much, and I was like, damn, like I don't imagine it could get better than this. How am I going to make it better? And then designing the new transformer with Sours, like with the other transformer place, they were, you know, they would take. They'd say, yeah, we'll do a custom one, whatever you want. And I'd give them some specs, and they give me whatever the fuck they wanted.
Yeah.
they go, yeah, we'll take it into consideration. And they just hand you whatever bullshit they have off the shelf. So, and it worked. It sounded really good. You remember how your old one sounded? It sounded amazing.
I mean,
to the point where you were like, whatever, dude, you're not going to make it sound better than this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it was also kind of like, I mean, it was my amp, so I was kind of like, like I've been, like kind of like you've been playing on something for like a year, and then somebody's like, it's not good enough.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, and then you did the new one, and you see that, oh, holy shit, everything I loved about it is accentuated, and there was some weird little quirks that it had that I wasn't super in love with that are now gone, and it, the old ones still sound great for what they were. But yeah, the new ones are just that much better. And it's from actually getting down into it and being like, we always tell this story, but it's crazy. Like when he sent me the prototypes with all the specs, we talked for hours on the phone and, developed this thing and what I was going for with the sound. We developed a great relationship, and I was just telling him, like, this is a sound in my head. This is what's wrong with my transformers now. This is what I want to fix. And he went, okay, I got you. And he sent me a couple prototypes. And he didn't tell me what they were, but he just said, tell me which one you like better. And I tried them both. And one was, they were both good, but one was just night and day. Like, oh, that's the one. Like, definitely fuck the other one. Never want to see it again. This is the one. The only difference in it was like one turn of wire on the secondary. like just a little bit more, but it changed the impedance that much to just you dip frequency just a tiny bit, and it's crazy how much the ear picks up just a little shift in frequency response. I actually to segue into like speaker sim development, I ran into this the other day too. Like I set up a few different speakers and tested them all with a microphone, like doped versus undoped, and like an Alnico Blue versus the Silktone ceramic. And I ran a waveform, so it plots the whole like from 20 to 20 kilohertz, like the real frequency or the decibels that every frequency is seeing. And if you look at it, they look nearly identical. Like it looks like the same thing, and you would think, oh, those sound the same. Those are going to sound the same. But in the room, they sound drastically different.
Yeah.
Like an Alnico Blue doesn't sound like a Silktone speaker. They're fucking worlds apart. Couldn't be more different.
Right.
But on the actual graph, like it looks really similar, but you zoom in and at every little different frequency, like 3K, 20K, 10K, 150 hertz, there's little tiny 3 dB dips and rises where that's fucking noticeable when you're hearing it.
And that's where the magic is.
That's where the magic's at. Yeah. So it's every little thing like that makes a difference.
I feel like I bring this up like every time I talk about gear. It's weird. And it seems to apply just about gear conversations, but like Paul McCartney said, music is what happens between the notes. And I find like every single thing that we pick out about a really special piece of gear or something like that, you know, like, and it's always because of some secondary function, or it's always because of like, you know, some just minuscule little thing that makes all of the difference.
Yeah.
And, you know, like one resistor, you know, like, it's it's wild. Yeah. I mean, you know, like, and especially, you know, like, I mean, I know just from knowing you and, you know, having however many talks until 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, that those little details are, you know, I'm glad that you're out there to pay attention to those kinds of things, because I just really don't. But, you know, at the end of the day, when you like slap it down, I go, oh yeah,
that's good. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I obsess over it. I fucking stay in here all day and slave away doing all that shit, changing little resistors, trying to get that little 3 dB dip at fucking 3.4K that makes all the difference but looks the same on a chart, just so that everyone else can go, oh, your shit sounds good. You know, it sounds really good. But yeah, you hit a piece of gear and it does a thing, and nothing else can match it. There's so much gear out there that, you know, looks the same as everything else, but you pick up that guitar and play it like, oh shit. I think I told you, Ryan, I haven't picked it up yet, but I bought an 80s Japanese Strat.
Nice.
Dude, it's one of the best playing guitars I've ever felt. It is beat to hell. It's missing parts. It is shit, but I couldn't pass it up. It just did a thing.
It's still Fuji Gen, man.
Yeah,
you know, like
you
can't. You can't. I mean, man, those Fuji Gen Strats are just absolutely amazing. Those Fuji Gen Strats, man. So you're lucky.
Yeah, I think it just said 84 to 86 on there, so I'm gonna just say it's my birth year of 86, because I've always wanted a birth year guitar. So that's my story now. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. But the 91 Stratocaster, not the same. Just doesn't quite have the same.
No.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
a little different.
I guess if I were to go back and do like, you know, like a 2000 something for my birth year.
For your birth year,
totally. 2001. 2002.
Nope. I'm 22.
Yeah.
I'm glad you made peace with that.
Made the jump.
I have one in your birth year, 2001. So yeah, it's actually pretty solid.
Yep. No, we're not going to talk about my birth year guitar.
We don't have to.
We're going to change the subject.
I mentioned mine to shame you guys.
Yeah. It shamed me.
Ryan, if it makes you feel better, I have one of yours right back there. That telly leaning on the speakers is 68. So that's,
Thanks.
yeah, you got it.
Yeah, right. This is taking a turn for 5 minutes left. uh, no, Aaron, I was not born in 82. I'm not saying I could have babysat you in 82, but I came before 82. All right, so anyway,
Anyway,
so we got the mini coming at some point with the crazy.
hey, I never said that. But yeah,
Show's over.
Something small.
At some point, if you decide to not keep the fucking thing for yourself, there will be another amp
Right. Yeah.
that comes out, and it will be small, and it will have a tap that you can run straight into your
DAW,
DAW, and
or even cooler, into another amp, like into the Silktone amp or the Astro.
so you can use it as your drive channel.
Dude, as a drive channel. Yeah, it's fucking, it's so
which
good.
is kind of what Benson did with the Vincent. The
Vinny. I know the Vinny has the direct.
Well, no. I mean, using
the Vincent has a Vinny channel.
Oh,
yeah, that's,
right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Aaron's still trying to struggle with the fact that I'm old.
Yeah. We can talk about it.
No, I
Charles and I'll stay late and we'll talk.
We'll flesh this out.
So you got that potentially this year. We definitely have these coming. These will be soon. They've already been at some retailers.
There's some. I know a bunch of them.
Four of them are already out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And so those will be. And I know. I mean, the reason I have one is because I have been tasked with twist my arm. Been tasked with part of the promotional.
You didn't
aspect.
buy it. You mean you bought it from Little Box?
Yeah.
I'm one of the four. I bought all four of them from Little Box.
And he won't share. He won't share. He just plugs them all in a line, turns them all on.
Stack fuzzies,
and then I compare and then I compare the green ones to each other. And then compare each green one to the older black one.
And then you'll return the rest.
He'll resell them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. We got the fuzz, the green fuzz, and then the very small amp coming soon, which will have a lot of cool features. So that'll be fun.
Excellent. Well, I'm feeling good about this. And this, where we have reached the end of the evening. And Kai, you know what I realized? I was so thrown off by you not being here that we didn't do the song.
Oh no.
Yeah. The intro song? Do it as an outro.
We didn't do it.
That seems like the move.
Yeah. I don't have any guests scheduled. Should we?
I'll come on again. It's fine.
Okay. Great.
That's great.
Same time next week.
we gotta do our call-in show. Kai.
Like some dude named Colin?
Oh,
or
yeah. I actually I have a surprise for our next episode right now. Josh Scott is here.
Oh! The guy gets
the
around.
room is soundproof. He can't hear me. He's not going to.
All right, yeah. So I think the next thing we're gonna do is just a call-in show. It'll just be you and me, and I'm just gonna send out. I'm gonna arbitrarily send out links to people we know, and if anybody shows up, like, God help them.
Oh, so it'd be like a party, like no Max, we'll just have a Brady Bunch going on.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I'll be part of it.
And if no one shows up, and it's just me and Ryan, it'll be like most of our lives.
It'll go.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys usually have to carry the thing anyway, right? No, everyone's good. Everyone's been good on it, but
yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, that's the plan. I'll announce it once we come up with a date. So thank you, Charles, for coming. And also next time, you and I will be in the same room. Unless I get sick again. Or
You
get
and
sick.
me?
Yeah.
Charles, you can come too.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to, right? I said I'd come visit. I guess I should not be a liar. Yeah,
You should come visit.
I should. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
we can do our first all-in-one room.
All right.
Yeah,
All
that'd
right.
be cool.
It's
All right.
ready? Ready for this?
Outro.